Oh, it is open.
Speak to Rodney.
What's that using computer on?
You're all right, you're on.
Hi, Rodney.
Hi.
Right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, everyone.
Hello, you got my sound?
Yes.
Right.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. Hi, Rodney and Pam.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Afternoon, President.
Hi, Parmdeep.
Hi, Parmdeep.
Hi, Pam. Hi, Rodney. Hi, Bernard.
Hi.
Hi, Roger.
Hi.
Hello, Mick. And Patrick. Hi.
Yes.
Hi, Bob. And Des. So it's going to be a cold week. I'm just looking out the window. The snow here has melted. Hello, Michael. Hello, Ed.
Hi,
Good
hi.
afternoon.
Hi.
Good job there isn't a meeting at the Grand because we're about snowed in here.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of snow here.
Yeah. Ed, did I send you the details for Julian, Dr. Julian Tang, on the 15th of March?
You certainly told me he was speaking and you put him on the list, but if you could send me his contact details, that'd be great. And I'll make sure he gets all the Zoom details.
Okay, doke.
Thank you, though. That looks good. He's interested. Well done.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize how prominent he is, and he seemed very well. He seemed a bit stressed out when I spoke to him. He was very busy, as you can imagine. He's in all the newspapers and things.
Yeah, quite.
Didn't catch who it was.
Dr. Julian Tang is a virologist at UHL.
Oh, yeah, I
thank
know
you.
the name now. Thank you.
Yeah, so he's speaking on the 15th of March to us. Yeah, so we're going to have him for 20 odd minutes, and he'll talk about. It'd be good to get your thoughts. Really, my thoughts were kind of along the lines of the COVID mutations and how things might play out this year, and sort of get his thoughts on that. That's the kind of things he's been talking about in the media. But is there anything in particular you guys might like to have him speak about?
Shall I
Yeah.
ask him what a preferred subject, Parmdeep? Perhaps he's got a really big issue he wants to talk about.
He asked me that.
Okay.
So he just said, "Let me know whatever you'd like me to talk about, and I'll do it." He doesn't have a set talk or anything, so that's good for us. We can ask him. We can take him in any direction we like.
Very good. Very good.
They had a virologist speak at the Los Angeles club yesterday, which my nephews have. He's going to send me the recording of that. So it went down quite well, quite interesting, apparently.
Yes, I think we need more of that. I mean, it's timely, isn't it? It's exactly what's on people's minds, and it'd be good to hear from the experts.
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to have today, hopefully, the president of our new Rotary club, Beatrice. So I've asked her to say a few words. I'll keep an eye out for her.
Parmdeep, other than talking about the mutations of this virus, I would be interested to know what the next virus is going to be. What's he working on for sort of the next, 5 to 10 year horizon? What should we be looking out for?
COVID-20.
Or 21?
Well, about 4 years ago, there were about 4 or 5 European cavers who were working in undiscovered caves on the Chinese Vietnam border, who all went down with a mysterious pneumonia. I think three or four of them died. and that could well have been coming from the picking up the something from the horseshoe bats, which are very prevalent there. And apparently you're climbing through hundreds of tons of old bat guano as you climb in the caves there.
Sorry, where was that, Patrick?
Pardon?
Where was that? Could you?
It was caving expedition on the Vietnam Chinese border.
Right.
I think possibly in just outside China. But the point was that nobody ever found out what had happened, except that they were all knocked out with a with a mysterious pneumonia, and I think 3 or 4 died out of an expedition of 8 or 9.
Patrick, I assume you're of the opinion that it wasn't manufactured.
No, well,
Okay.
I mean, people work on stuff. I mean, after all, there's the famous case where there was an escape, big escape, and from Birmingham University, who were working on about 20 years ago. That wasn't a coronavirus, but it was stuff gets out of these labs. That's.
You're right, Ed. I've managed to join. You're
Well
okay?
done, Emma. Nice to see you.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome, Emma.
Hi, everybody. All right.
Yes, very good, thanks. Yeah, good to have you on board. And hello to Beatrice. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. So while I've got you, and well, I'll tell you what, I'll come to you in a sec. It'd be nice for everybody to hear from you and to meet you virtually. Tell us a bit about what you're up to and what the students are doing at the moment. Okay, so we'll make a start. I'll just going to mute everybody, and you'll be able to unmute yourselves to join into the meeting. So just give me a sec. Okay, everybody is now muted. So welcome to this meeting of the Rotary Club of Leicester on the 8th of February 2021. I'm Parmdeep Vadesha, the president, and I can see we have a number of guests. We have Pam Spokes, great to have you on as always. And we have Beatrice Serra, who's the president of our new Rotary Club. Any other guests that I've missed? No, okay. Do we have any greetings from other clubs? Just looking at page 2. Now we have Tara with us, okay. Okay, at this point, I'm just going to introduce Beatrice. So if you'd just like to unmute yourself, Beatrice. Hi, Tara. Yes, okay, so everybody, this is Beatrice, and she's a student, 2nd year now?
Yes.
At De Montfort University, and she is the president of our Universities of Leicester. Is that the right name? Universities of Leicester Rotary Club?
Leicester University's Rotary Club.
Leicester Universities. Okay, wonderful. So tell us a bit about yourself, where you're from, your background in volunteering, and what you're doing at the moment.
Okay. Hi, my name is Beatriz. I'm from Portugal, and my volunteering experience started when I joined the Scouts group. And with the Scouts group, we help like indirectly the community. We've done cleaning beaches. We've done a lot of stuff within the Scouts environment. Like everything was to help others, basically. And outside the Scouts environment, I've been to a food campaign collection in the supermarkets in my hometown. Let me see. And I've done runs to earn money for the. I'm sorry. I've done runs to earn money for breast cancer institutions for women. Here last year, the first year when I arrived in the UK, I haven't done anything within volunteering because of lack of time. But this year, I started with, we did a visa project, me, Parmdeep, and some of my colleagues from my course. Then we've done a collection of hot meals and giving out to the people who need them. We've done the Christmas hampers campaign. And that's it. In the future, within my club, we are going to do a lot of more stuff, but now is not possible because the majority of them are not in the UK. They're back home. They're from different places within Europe or whatever. And due to the pandemic, they cannot come here for this semester. Some of them, like the frontiers are closed. So we are trying to work with what we have and try to planning everything.
Yes, and I think we're very lucky to have found you, because I think you'll be an excellent president. And from what I've seen so far, so the work we did last year, especially the hampers, I thought that went very well. And so I'm very much looking forward to when your friends can come back to the UK, and we can get some projects underway. So,
Yes.
So at the moment, there's about, I think it's about 18 people you've gathered together, which I think is a fantastic achievement.
I can, let me see. I'm going to confirm.
So there's a WhatsApp group, isn't there, you've managed to put together? And
yeah, we are 21. We have 21 participants.
Yeah, we should get you recruiting for our club, I think.
Sorry?
We should get you recruiting members for our club as well. So well done, and we look forward to getting underway with some projects. So thanks for coming on board today, and we look forward to hearing more from you.
Thank you.
Okay. Other remarks? Rotary for food banks. Good news. We're now ready for 3 food banks. We just need to deposit the money with Rotary for food banks, and they're all cleared and ready to go to start ordering food, with delivery taking place via Morrison delivery. So that's gone really well, and we're finally at the stage now where the food banks can make purchases. So I've been working with David and Barry, and several Rotarians have been making sure that getting that to happen, and I'm glad it's gone well, and we're at the stage now where we just need to give them the money. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll update you once that's taken place. And what I'd like to try and do is, one of them, the Midlands Lunga Service, has just purchased a new unit over off Belgrade, Melton Road. So they've he's invited us there once, obviously restrictions allow. But what I've said to him is, it'd be nice to get a video or something like that, where he can video the food arriving and showing us how his location, what it's like, and the setup. So that'd be quite nice to see, I think, for members. Okay, great. One other thing, open hands. We're still looking for a location. So if anybody knows of a place where, because if you don't already know where they're based in Highfields, and the road's very narrow. So the Morrison delivery truck can't get down there. So unfortunately, they've been rejected for a delivery. So if you know of any other location where there's a car park or something like that, where the truck can arrive, and then open hands can meet them with their van and just offload from one to the other. Yes, Richard.
What about the Morrison's car park?
I've asked them that. Yes, I have asked them that. They haven't come back to me on that. I mean, that seems the obvious solution. Yes, I agree. So yeah, I mean, failing that, it'd be nice to find what Rotary for Food Banks said to me was, with the food banks that they've worked with in the past, what's happened is one food bank that does have the facility has offered it to the other food banks, so they can all collect from there. But the ideal one would be this Midlands Lunga Service, because they've just got this new unit with plenty of space to get in and out, but it's not operational yet. So I've not recommended them to contact them just yet. So I'm just asking around for any others. But I agree that Morrison's would be ideal. Sorry, somebody else?
If Morrison's are difficult, you could always tell them we're going to use Tesco's car park instead.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I think because we're dealing with the wholesale side of things, and obviously the car parks belong to the retail. So I don't know if that makes a difference in how, movements of trucks and whether they're allowed to go there. I honestly don't know. So I'll ask them the question. I have had an email from Tony Cluett of Rocart. Clive will remember. I think there was Don as well. We all went go-karting. Did you go as well, Chris? That was, I'm trying to remember now. No, there was about 4 of us went along, and we had a lot of fun driving these go-karts and raising money. So they've contacted me and said they are running an online auction in collaboration with the Swaziland Schools Project, and they're seeking lots for an auction, and they will take anything from a tour around an interesting place of work, tickets for concerts, sports events, meals, paintings, a round of golf, a few days and a holiday home. I'm sure you get the idea. So if you can think of anything, please contact me or contact Tony Cluett direct. It's the Rotary Club of Neen Valley. So yeah, they're looking to run an online auction. John Nisbet will be 90 on Thursday. So just like to offer my congratulations. He's not with us, I don't think, today, but congratulations. And do we have any updates for Derek? Anybody who's spoken to Derek recently? Derek Hall? Or heard from him? No? Well, please update me when you have. If anybody does.
Currently in Melton Mowbray. He's left the Royal and he's gone over to Melton Mowbray to recover.
Oh, good. Good. Thank you, John.
He's doing better.
Great. Okay. Do we have anything from Secretary Barry?
No, there's nothing to say.
Okay. Anything from other committee chairmen and women? No? Okay. So I will move on to our speaker, Emma Mary, head of the Kibworth School. She's going to be talking to us about running a state secondary school during COVID-19. Please take it away, Emma. I'm just going to set up your, sorry, you'll just need to mute, unmute yourself. I'm just going to set up your screen.
That's great. Can I share the screen as well? Is that okay?
Yes, I'm just gonna, there we go.
Great. Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It's so lovely to see you all, and thank you so much for inviting me. You can probably tell that I'm working from home today, although I was on site this morning at 6:30 checking that we'd not been snowed in. Thankfully, we're still open, so that was a positive. But there's also quite beautiful about the Kibworth School when it's covered in snow and there's nobody there. So yeah, always positives out of things. So thank you for the invite. My name's Emma Merry. I've been the head teacher of the Kibworth School since August 2017. So I've earned my stripes over the past 4 years, I'd like to think so. And I know the Kibworth and surrounding areas community well now, although there's always things we can learn. And just to talk about the journey of the school and where we've come from and where we're going to, because for those of you that don't know or do know, the school was a former, well, actually, I'm sure there's people that recognise it as the grammar school as was, and then it changed to the 11 to 14 school. Sorry, that's my dog's barking. The 11 to 14 high school, and now it's an 11 to 16 school. So it's been on quite a journey, really. But we're in a good place now. So I'm just going to hopefully move to sharing my screen with you. Okay, great. Can you all see the screen okay? Yeah. Is that, yeah, fantastic. Okay, so our motto is talent, knowledge and success, which stands for the Kibworth School. So that's how we've kind of broken it down, really. And you know, our belief is, and our staff's belief is, that we believe everybody has talent and it's our job to find it. We want to make sure we embed the knowledge and make people be as successful as they can be in whatever guise that is, whether it's in school or outside of school or moving forward. This is me looking a bit more formal there. As you can see, that's one of our head teachers awards. So that's just to reassure you that you know, we are following the social distancing in school, and you can see with the face mask there, it's a bit different, really. If somebody would have said to me, as a head teacher, you're going to have to be an expert in viral control and COVID testing sort of 3 years ago, I would have said you're crazy, but here we are, these new times. Just a couple of things, really, about our journey since August 2017. We've had year-on-year improvements in our outcomes, so our progress now is in line with national average and well above national average in some areas, so we're really proud about that. we're not a huge school. We've got 850 children, maximum of 875, and we're operating at about that capacity now. But we have about 1,000 people on site, compared to the likes of Beecham, Lionheart Trust, which is a great trust, we're a relatively smaller school, but on quite a large site, which is a great site. We've increased our student numbers over the past 4 years. So in each year group we're full. We're pretty much full, apart from 1 or 2 places, which is brilliant. That shows the confidence of the local community in us. We've had improved facilities over the past few years as well. So we've obviously had the new maths block, we've had the 3G football pitch. And what I'm delighted to say is we've improved our connections with local businesses and partnerships. Only last week, as part of the Children's Mental Health Week, we're working with the Kibworth Bookshop, where we got all the students and parents to have an amount towards a book, and the disadvantaged children have a significant amount towards a book, to work locally with them, and also the Kibworth Mental Health team as well. And we've been working with the Kibworth COVID response team, which has been brilliant. Obviously, we work very closely with the Rotary. They've given us awards each year, and that's been gratefully received as well. Our best asset is absolutely our students. A couple of examples there of what we've been doing even during lockdown. That's the year 7s in the middle, reenacting the Battle of Hastings, I think it was, on the playground. You've got children playing chess, jewellery break time, and then some performances. The young people of Kibworth and the local surrounding areas are absolutely phenomenal children. Don't get me wrong, we have the odd 1 or 2 that need additional support, but actually they are really kind, caring people. And I think during this COVID pandemic, it's really galvanized the school even closer than what it was before, which is brilliant. Future ideas and plans. We've actually got our own wellbeing garden with quite a big tubular greenhouse and some bedding sort of plants and veg plots. You can see they're actual real sprouts. We actually grew them from our own garden, and that's something we're looking to really evolve there. And we're looking at possible livestock on site as well in the future. That's a bit more complicated, but again, it's something the children really want to take part in. We have put in the bid as well for 1.2 million for new changing rooms, improved canteen space, and dance studio, but sadly due to COVID and funding that got pulled. But that's something we're looking to get on the horizon. And my ambition and my vision was to have more disability sports on site and more disabled friendly, wheelchair friendly facilities. And that's still an ambition of mine, so it can be used for everybody in the community, not just the school, because we're passionate about providing for all where we can.
Amazing. You've completed this day on the 3rd of February, our mental health challenges. Print off this certificate or email me and I'll send this certificate to you.
Okay, so last week, I'm just going to come out of this now, sharing. I'm not a Zoom au fait as what I am with the Teams. Does anybody know how I can share the screen cancel? Anybody? No.
You normally go to the top of the screen, Emma, and it's got a little bit at the top there.
Let's have a look.
Allow you then to unshare.
Trying to make the screen bigger. It's just not working. Let's have a look. Oh. I don't know whether I've got the permission. Let's have a look. Stop video. Stop video. Should I try that?
Try that. No, that's just turn your screen off.
Okay.
Parmdeep, can you unshare?
Yeah, what I'll do, I'll just cancel your share.
Brilliant.
And then you could try and start another one.
Fabulous. That'd be great if you could.
Yep.
That's it. So the mental health week that we did last week was a real success. Our students have been online now since the start of January for 5 hours a day solid. Our teachers have provided online live lessons because I felt that the personal connection was really, really important. So we had a digital detox week last week where I asked all the staff and all the students to have a day offline and just spend some time doing something different with their families. It went down really, really well. Lots of baking, walking, cooking. But I think what really sort of impressed me was how families also took the time to spend that day with their children. Because I think sometimes we get on this treadmill at the moment, don't we, about it's like Groundhog Day, doing the same things all the time. So that was really successful. So kind of in summary, really, and I'll take questions. During the pandemic, it's been an enormous challenge, but we've had really, really low cases. And I think it's because we've taken it really seriously. We've invested over £125,000 in COVID protection mechanisms, such as plastic screening everywhere, anti-bac everywhere. We've got a test centre on site now, which is working really well. And we're averaging kind of 75 tests in 2 hours a day, lateral testing, which is really good. And only this morning, I was having a discussion with a local authority saying, you know, why can't we open to early years providers and offer them support with our test centre as well? Because I just think it's an invaluable resource. But I think what makes it work are the people, really, and the support from the students, the staff and the local community. They've just been amazing. But from March last year, 2020, education has been completely rewritten. Absolutely rewritten, and there's lots of positives that we're going to take from it that we won't change. Online learning isn't the same as in the classroom, but our children have been very fortunate to get the 5 hours of live lessons each day from our teaching staff, and that includes assemblies in the morning, and we've got a rewards assembly on Friday, so we've tried to keep it as normal as possible. But to give you some indication, before Christmas in 13 weeks we had less than 10 cases for staff and students. As a comparison to the schools locally, that was extremely low. But it's partly to do with the kind of cohesive nature of what we're doing, and the parents and the carers are working with us collectively. So my world's gone from, well, still results, still performance, still trying to get children to be the very best they can be, but also anti-bac, plastic screening, risk assessments, tester centres, lateral flow, social distancing, and the snow on top of that. So, any questions from anybody? I'm really open to any questions at all.
Thank you, Emma. That was wonderful. Okay, so yes, Richard has a question.
Hi, Richard.
Hi, so just if we make the slightly optimistic assumption that everything will be, from a school's perspective, hopefully back to normal by next term, and obviously exams are still under debate, I think, isn't it? What's going to happen with those? But how long do you think it will take for just the children's education to get back up to where it should be for their sort of respective year groups?
Yeah, interesting question, really. We are continually assessing the children all the time, and we have a daily register of who's accessing remote learning as a whole school. Our sort of percentage of children accessing remote learning at the minute is 86%. All our disadvantaged families have got laptops. We made the decision with the governing body that we were ahead of the government and provided all our disadvantaged with laptops prior to the funding, because I think we had 8 between the period of March and September given to us. So we sort of, you know, bit the bullet and made sure those disadvantaged have devices, internet connection, and we're educated about how to use those remote learning facilities. So based on the percentage attendance to remote lessons and the assessments that we're doing currently at the moment, we're quite confident that the gap's not going to be as wide as it should be. So in real terms, when we've done the calculation, and this is the boring bit, or it might be the exciting bit for people that are interested in maths or statistics, we calculated when we went back in September, some children could be up to 9 months behind if they'd not accessed learning, because they could be born in July, so they're the kind of younger year group, if they've not had access. So we did a number of calculations, and then that helped us target our focus groups like disadvantaged boys in year 9. And in doing that, we've narrowed the gap really, really quickly. So we know where our target areas are, and there will be some children who will be behind. But to combat that, we're offering mentoring online and extra sessions of an evening as well. So we're offering additional revision and study sessions between 5 and 7 o'clock at night as well. And children are given a mentor in school and remotely as well. But gap-wise, it very much depends on the individual. We monitor the trends and patterns as a school, but because we've kept the live lessons going and we've been up and running with those before the summer, when we found before Christmas the children were isolated for 2 weeks and then came back into the lessons, and we did a student voice and spoke to them, it was quite seamless. There was some individuals that needed additional support, but the vast majority found it a lot smoother to come back in. because they'd had that regular contact with the teacher, they'd had the regular testing, they'd had the regular updates. My team, pastoral team back at school, make phone calls every day to children that miss lessons. So we can establish the barriers, understand, you know, why they're not accessing, and then support the families and support the children. And if they really can't access at home, then we bring them in, get them in. So I've tried to answer your question, but we focus on the individual and the groups. I don't believe we've probably got less than 5 children that will be in excess of probably 4 months from their starting point where they should be. I would say the vast majority of our children, 95% will be there or thereabouts because of the rigor and the robust nature of our tracking system and contact and online. We know we track access to live lessons, access to student folder, access to GCSE pod, access to tutor time in the morning. Every single member of staff marks which children are in their lessons, and then those that aren't go to the pastoral team, and then they track and make phone calls home, or we do home visits.
Thank you.
Massive piece of work, but it's worth it.
Yeah, no, that's very impressive, and particularly like your mentoring. I think that's very good.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, any other questions? Yes, Ed.
Hi, Emma.
Hi, Ed.
I'm a sort of a plant in this today, as you know. So how many children do you have going in every day? The anecdotal evidence is you've got many more than we had last time going in. Is that true?
Yeah, so the national average for secondary schools at the moment is operating at around about sort of 8%. We're operating at about 12%, which is higher. Primaries are a lot higher than that at the moment. The primaries have got a lot more children in than secondaries, but it's changed. The kind of the landscape's changed quite a lot. This lockdown's very different. I think the adults and the families are struggling a lot more than the children. I think the children are being a lot more robust than the adults this time because of the people losing their jobs, financial strains on people being furloughed. So we've had more key worker and critical worker children come in, and our free school meal numbers have gone up as well, which is indicative of where we are. But our most vulnerable families and our most vulnerable children, they get contacted at least 3 or 4 times a week, if not daily. And we do a really good job of trying to mop up our most vulnerable families and getting them to engage with us, talk to us, tell us what the issues are. That's been the biggest challenge since I've been at Kibworth, but we've cracked it now, where people, it's harder to ask for support, isn't it, than bury your head in the sand. And I think we've got the culture right now in the school for the vast majority where they do ask for support, and they want our help, and that's increased the numbers, which is a good thing. But on the whole, the numbers have increased, but we manage it effectively to protect the staff and the students as well, because they're all in separate bubbles and in separate areas, and it's quite we're used to that system now. But at the start, if you think we had 1,000 people in one space, all the one-way systems we put together, it was quite an achievement to get that to work well.
Just to follow up, Emma, and just to, you sort of touched on it in your talk. Are you giving everybody or offering everybody a COVID test every day?
So how it works, the government guidance is for lateral flow testing. Staff have to be tested at least twice a week that are in every day for a week. Children have to be tested every 3rd day, but consent is only not all. So we've probably got about 65% of our parent population have given consent to test their children. So again, it's optional, it's not a definitive, which is a shame really. But we test all our staff and all our children in line with that guidance. So as I said, we're going through probably around about, I'd say 65 tests in 2 hours. The other thing is the government have now changed the funding. We now get funded per test we complete, rather than the original workforce model they gave us. But to test up our centre, we've had to invest about 12,000 already. And we're not guaranteed to get that money back, which is the other side of things, but morally, as the head and working in governors, we got our test centre up and running ready really quickly because we felt morally that was the right thing to do. There are some schools that are choosing not to do that, but that's their choice. But for me, I think it's the reassurance and just morally correct in providing confidence with people really, and getting the youngsters to go through that process as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank Thank you. We have time for one more question. Yes, Clive.
Emma, you've answered the situation pertaining to your school really well, but at a national level, there's undoubtedly a problem that children in the round have fallen behind. And I just wonder, why is the teaching profession so averse to teaching through the summer holidays? We've lived in such strange times. Why don't we just move all the goalposts of term time and holidays?
That's an interesting question, Clive. In July, God, it feels like forever ago, July 2020, when we went through the first lockdown in March, I actually put a consultation paper out to all of my parents and families and staff, asking to go to a 6-hour day. It was a 6-hour day, so it increased an hour on each day, and then go to a four-week summer holiday, and then have, it was like 6-week terms, but in essence we gained about 6 weeks of education in the way that I'd manipulated the timetable. And sadly, the consultation came back quite strongly from families and staff that they didn't want that. Now I was quite shocked, because I was all up for reducing down the summer holiday, you know, having the kids in for an extra hour a day and doing those things. But the families really didn't want it at all. They didn't want the children staying until 4 o'clock, and they didn't want the reduced holidays. Although, even though I'd extended the October and February half term to 2 weeks and reduced elsewhere, it wasn't deemed a popular choice. So I did try that, Clive, but sadly I got pushed back. I mean, I think teaching is going to have to change. I think the pressure that's been put on teaching staff is inordinate, and it's nothing like the NHS. You know, God bless them, they've done a fantastic job. But I do think that my school and my staff, their work ethic's been phenomenal. Their flexibility and ability to respond to change has been amazing. And I do think there's an opportunity now to kind of, you know, revolutionize the education and move away from the tradition of what it has been. I'm all up for reducing the summer, you know, some holidays and get my kids in for longer, no problem. But it's the mindset, I think, of other families and some teaching staff that I think you'd find problematic. So yeah, I tried it as early as July, but sadly it wasn't favourable. And I think a lot of it was to do with siblings in the primary schools as well, and picking up the little ones. And also, I think, you know, it's about mindset, isn't it? We've got to drip feed in and see what happens. But I do think nationally there is there's going to be huge caverns of differences between schools, where different schools have tried different things and educated the children differently, because the guidance is so open to interpretation. I know some schools are doing 10 minutes of live lessons at the start of the lesson and leaving the children to it. Well, fundamentally, that's not what I want for my children or for my school or for my staff. I think they have to have that regular contact, and it's proven the amount of positive feedback we've had has been phenomenal, and the progress that we're maintaining and upholding is hanging in there. But yeah, interesting times. I think there's going to be quite a lot of change, hopefully, as we move forward.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma. Like you say, interesting times. So very insightful. Thank you. And I will hand over to Ed for vote of thanks.
Emma, thank you very much. You've been incredibly modest today. As a governor and a parent of children at the Kibworth School, I know how much work you and your team have done, and you've put that under quite your light under quite a bushel today. I'm going to share a little bit with my fellow Rotarians the fact that, you know, you've COVID has made so many changes to all of our lives, often at very short notice. And I've been inspired by how you and your very dedicated team at our school have adjusted so well and with such steadfastness and really without any complaint to keep our children safe and making a lot of progress in their education. I've seen the results at first hand of your hard work. And I was so pleased you could come and share some of that, because I think a lot of people who aren't directly involved in education simply don't know how much change has happened in school. I mean, goodness me, you're a COVID testing centre as well. It's remarkable. It's quite extraordinary. I think you and your teachers and leaders and the kids have really coped with a succession of government policy changes often at very, very short notice. You know, if you'd asked me in this time last year if remote learning would work, I'd have said no way, but it does. You've made it work. And I can say that my children right now are plugged in, logged on and engaged, and your teachers are teaching so well and the kids are learning. That's something we all need to know. The kids are learning. It's not just watching videos and that they are being engaged with. And I know, having watched over their shoulders, the teachers are asking them questions and making them be part of it. So Emma, well done. Your team are inspirational. You've done a fantastic job. Thank you for joining us today and sharing some of that. And can I just ask my fellow Rotarians to show their appreciation in the usual way?
No, thank you. And we're always looking for volunteers to help us out with the wellbeing garden and vegetable plot and the greenhouse. Our greenhouse is looking a bit lonely at the moment. It's got nothing in it. So if there's anybody who wishes to, I know with COVID it's a bit difficult when things get to some sense of normality. We've got a 12-foot by 4-foot tubular greenhouse and 2 wonderful bedding areas that, you know, if anybody's interested in giving us a little bit of love, then we're open to work together with people on that, and maybe grow some local food for disadvantaged families and get them in and do them a meal once we're all back to some kind of normality.
Great idea.
All right. Thank you for the invite, ladies and gents. Take care. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay positive.
And you, thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Emma.
Yeah.
I would like to offer my help and from my volunteers. If you need anything, you could email me. I will email you so you can have my contact if you need any
that's
kind
great.
of help.
Ed's got my details, but the children really, I think this pandemic's galvanized our community more so than ever. And in a crisis, it either goes one way or the other, doesn't it? And I think we're really blessed to have people around us, and we want to open our doors even more so now and get more people involved despite the pandemic. So that'll be fantastic.
Okay.
I'll pass on your email address to Ed.
All right. Take care, everyone. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Okay, so attendance today is 28. I will just pass on to Richard quickly, if he doesn't mind giving us an update on the hospital situation. Thank you, Richard.
Yes, well, as of last week, I mean, there is light at the end of the tunnel. The number of patients in hospital is falling quite significantly now, which is good. I think it's a representation partly of the vaccination program and probably partly of the natural cycle of the virus. The majority of the cases we're seeing, I'm told, are the Kent variant, which is undoubtedly more aggressive than COVID original. But hopefully within the next 3 or 4 weeks, we should start to see a significant improvement, I think.
Okay, wonderful. That's great news. Do you have any questions or comments for Richard? No? Okay, thank you, Richard. If everybody could unmute themselves, that will allow us to say goodbye to each other. So next week, we have Peter Tilsley, who has now moved on to he's now the CEO for the Centre of Alternative Technology, and he's going to be talking to us. His talk will be the Centre for Alternative Technology, a brief history of the future and a new partnership with Rotary. So I look forward to hearing from Peter. And thank you all for joining us today. Stay safe, stay well. See you all next week. This meeting stands adjourned. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.